A team of doctors operate on US and actually replace the top half of his skull with a new experimental alloy. There's a cutaway of this new metal skull, and it looks more like a machine blueprint than an actual skull.
Well, Jeff always used to say I was hard-headed, but this is ridiculous.
Oh, it's good that he can still joke after the death of his brother, the attempted murder, and the literal chrome dome.
Later, the police talk with US and inform him they can't find any evidence to support his story. Nor can they find Jeff's body. US, due to the coloring, looks like he has butter running down his nose. He stands by his story, but the inspector thinks the bump on his head made him imagine the whole thing. So, what, he imagined the truck wreckage and the missing brother? And did he imagine the railings on the cliffside breaking off? Worst police inspector since Clouseau. US vows to get to the truth. Later, he's back with Wheeler and his wife at their home. Be sure to eat all your green vegetables. Nothing better for a cracked skull than green vegetables. Yeah, I'm sure I saw that on a medical poster somewhere. Wheeler interjects, leave the boy alone, wide load.
Yes, I can see why their marriage has endured for so long.
US points out that he's been hearing a buzzing in his head since he got his new skull. Now, the book explains that he's picking up CB radio broadcasts, but personally I think one of the doctors just accidentally left their cell phone in his brain. Wheeler wants to have the doctors fix it, but US thinks having a CB radio in his head will be useful for tracking down the highwayman. Wheeler agrees to help finance a new rig for the task, and they quickly get to work on the new truck, assembling it faster than an A-Team car-building montage.
Over by you, there's a special weapons console. It swings around towards the driver's seat for easy access. It controls the oil slick release, the tire shredding shrapnel, bombs, the smoke screen, and of course the ejector seat.
How the hell is he paying for all this?
Seriously, even if we accept that his computer training in college allowed for him to create something like all this, he doesn't have a job! Hell, the medical bills alone after the highwayman incident should have bankrupted him. I suspect that Wheeler footed the bill, but he's supposed to be retired. None of these people do any work, yet somehow they're billionaires. I mean, he's even got a radar, a homing device system, and a weather satellite. And all of this equipment flips into the dashboard to hide it. Is US actually Batman or something? Are they shipping thousands of dollars worth of cocaine in their trucks? My brain is melting here! As if this budgetary madness wasn't already jaw-dropping enough, US unveils his latest masterpiece, creating a remote control for the truck and storing it in a silver dollar.
And next he'll be able to fit a gun into a... Oh wait, I already made this joke.
Wheeler gives his support for US's activities, prompting, you guessed it, another Wheels of Fate remark. On the main voyage of the rig, now dubbed US-1, a storm, as black as midnight, just blew out of nowhere. A storm that must be an awful lot like the one the boys drove through that night. That's just a weird phrasing. It must be like that one? Why? US nervously drives along the road. All of a sudden, a lightning bolt strikes the mountain, causing a rock slide towards him. US just barely manages to evade it, but not before his face melts! Ah! Well, actually, that's just the artwork. US thinks that the rocks seem to be aimed at him. So, what, the highwayman has control over lightning? Why the heck does he drive a truck then? On cue, the highwayman's laughter fills up the panels. Apparently among the highwayman's powers is megaphone voice, since otherwise how is he so loud that he can be heard over the truck engines and rain? And so the highwayman's black semi appears beside US-1, and thus begins our exciting trucker fight!
More dueling than duel.
I'm driving a
More truck ramming action than riding with death.
pedal to the metal, hope I don't run out of luck. Rolling down the highway.
Not since Over the Top has there been such trucking excitement.
Truck with my high heels on. My diesel rig is northward.
So anyway, after a daring leap over a conveniently placed unfinished road, it looks like US is about to have the advantage. By the way, at no point during this fight does he use any of those fancy-pants weapons he installed. Talk about a waste of an investment. The two trucks approach a bridge, but Wheeler is standing in front of it. How did he get there? Was he Gandalf the Grey in another life? You shall not pass unless you have the Wheels of Fate. US forces the black rig up over an incline in the mountain, and the momentum carries it over the edge of the cliff. Wheeler gives some lame excuse about walking up the road when the storm started up. Yeah, walk around in the dark and cold instead of in a car. It makes perfect sense. The two look over the edge of the cliff, but there's no sign of the highwayman or the black rig. Since they didn't hear a crash, they presume he survived. We end our comic with Wheeler's annoying narration. Like I said, some folks think you've got to wear tights and a cape to be a hero. These people would be morons. And some folks think you need to wear a mask and fly. Yeah, and some people think Scientology is a legitimate religion. What's your point? But the truth of the matter is that sometimes, to be a hero, all you have to do is drive a truck.
Yes, because there's nothing more heroic than forcing another truck off the road to their doom in a bit of poetic justice. And furthermore, driving a truck is the only qualifying factor for heroism. Although it certainly helps if you have a metal plate in your skull that picks up radio signals, a souped-up semi, and a genius-level IQ. This comic sucks. Look, in the future, if you need a hero whose theme involves trucks, just call Optimus Prime.
But still I'm driving a truck, driving a big old truck, heading down the interstate just trying to make a buck.
Ulysses Archer, trucker, a man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Luckier, blander, more generic.